Please be ready for a dictation of a passage. 5 seconds. Start. Mr. Chairman, Sir, this Constitution Amendment Bill seeks to make special provisions in the Constitution for a new set-up for the administration of the Union Territory of Delhi, including provisions for the establishment of a legislative assembly and a council of ministers responsible to such assembly. Sir, as the House is aware, Delhi is a union territory administered under Article 239 of the Constitution. Under the existing law, namely the Delhi Administration Act 1966, there is a Metropolitan Council and elected members and an Executive Council to assist and advise the administrator in the exercise of his functions. The Metropolitan Council is only an advisory body with no legislative powers. There has been a persistent demand for a representative form of government in Delhi and also for removing problems faced by the common man, such as multiplicity of authorities with overlapping functions. With a view to finding a permanent solution to the problems, the government appointed a committee on 24th December 1987 under the chairmanship of my honorable friend with wide terms of reference to enable it to suggest remedies for the long-standing problems faced by the people of Delhi. The committee submitted its report on 14th December 1989. The committee had gone into the matter in very great detail and considered the various issues in all their aspects after examining the memoranda received by it from various persons and holding detailed discussions with individuals, representatives of institutions and political parties, eminent citizens, experts and knowledgeable persons with long experience in administration and public affairs. It also examined the details of the arrangement made in the national capitals of other countries with a federal setup and took note of the views expressed in the debates in the Constituent Assembly and both houses of Parliament on various occasions in regard to the arrangements for the capital. It also studied the recommendations made by the earlier committees and commissions. The committee was aware of the complexities involved in designing a proper structure of government for a national capital, particularly for a country with a federal setup. Now, sir, there were two conflicting requirements that have to be reconciled in this regard. First, the requirement of satisfying the democratic aspirations of the citizens of the capital to govern themselves in consonance with the spirit of the Constitution is very important. Secondly, as has been recognized world over, as well as in our country all along, the national government should have sufficient control of the capital city and its administration for discharging its national and international responsibilities and commitments. Further, the effective administration of the national capital is of vital importance to the national government for ensuring the requisite degree of security and administrative efficiency. In addition, there is also the need to preserve the cosmopolitan character of the capital. The report of that committee has attempted to design a governmental structure for Delhi which would secure a reasonable balance between these requirements. The committee has come to the conclusion that any arrangement that involves a constitutional division of functions and responsibilities between the Union and Delhi administration will be against the national interest and should be ruled out, and therefore Delhi should continue to be a union territory with a legislative assembly with appropriate powers. It has also recommended that the subjects of public order, police and land should be retained with the centre, as they are matters of vital importance for which the responsibility cannot be divided. This is also broadly in line with the provisions made in Government of Part C States Act 1951, enacted by the Constituent Assembly, sitting as Parliament. The details of the new arrangements for national capital will be clear from the provisions of the bill, and I do not propose to go over the same in detail because I do not want to take the time of the House for such minute details. After carefully examining the report of the committee and considering all aspects, it has been decided to enact legislation generally on the lines of the recommendations of this committee, and the bill seeks to make appropriate provisions in this regard. As the House may be aware, on earlier occasions, whenever a democratic setup was considered for Delhi, such as under the Government of Part C States Act 1951 and also under the bill introduced in 1978, necessary provisions for a democratic setup were made under a parliamentary law enacted in pursuance of Article 239A. However, in the case of Delhi, which is the national capital, the committee has recommended that the provisions of the democratic set-up should be incorporated in the Constitution itself with a view to securing a measure of stability and also giving a special status to the national capital. Sir, Delhi as the national capital has a unique status and certain distinguishing features. In view of its importance for the country as a whole, we feel that it should inspire a sense of belonging to all the states. Stop.